everybody here today who condemns what is being done to the Coptic Christians of Egypt. We condemn the discrimination. We condemn the persecution. We condemn the murder of Copts that is taking place at this very time in Egypt. Now, the Premier of New South Wales, Barry O'Farrell, can't be here today. He knew I was going to be here and he asked me to represent him. And he asked me to be very clear in giving this message, that he also stands with the Coptic community of Australia and with the Coptic people of Egypt, and he also condemns in the strongest possible way what is happening in Egypt today. And my friends, he said to say this, that whatever he can humanly do, he will do, and he gives that as a promise to the Coptic Australian community. That is the message from the Premier of the state of New South Wales. Now, as Parliamentary Secretary for Justice in the Government of New South Wales, I believe in justice. But for the Copts of Egypt, there is no justice. And as Parliamentary Secretary for Justice, I believe in the equality of the law, but the Copts are not protected by the law in Egypt. They're persecuted by the law in Egypt. The Arab Spring may be going through the Middle East, through Libya and through Tunisia and through Syria and through Egypt, but it certainly hasn't come to the Coptic people, the Coptic Christians of Egypt, that is for sure. And things are getting worse. Only a few days ago, 24 Coptic Christians peacefully protesting were killed. And they were killed not by Islamists, they were killed by units of the Egyptian army. What a shameful, disgraceful thing. Ah! They were shot by army bullets and they were run over by army tanks. That's what happened to them. And 300 others, they also were injured. Even Muslims who were standing in solidarity with their co-citizens in Egypt, they also suffered as well. And we had go around the world a video of an Egyptian soldier standing before a rally of Islamists saying, "I was proud at that time to have shot dead a Coptic Christian." What a disgraceful, shameful thing that also is, coming from a member of the Egyptian army. And on that day, a Coptic hospital was invaded by Islamists. And a church was invaded by Islamists. What a terrible situation that is. And state television in Egypt blamed not the perpetrators, it blamed the victims. That also is a shameful thing. And this is only the latest in a continuing campaign of persecution. A few months ago, many of us were gathered in Martin Place to protest atrocities that were occurring then. And a year ago, we were on a march from Hyde Park to Martin Place to talk about and to protest this genocide that is being perpetrated, that is commencing against the Egyptian people. It goes on and on and on. And it's always the same story. We have young Christian girls who are forced to wear the veil, who are forced to convert, who are abducted, who are raped. This is in present-day Egypt. We have priests who are killed. We have churches which are burnt to the ground. We have monasteries which are invaded. We had only a few months ago a policeman out of uniform go through a train and kill any young Christian Copt that he could see on that train. And what happens? What happens to the perpetrators of these crimes in Egypt today? Nothing happens. We have a sham reconciliation process. We have a sham religious interfaith dialogue. This is what happens where people, the perpetrators and victims, are supposed to sit down together and talk this thing through. But nobody is ever charged. Nobody is ever convicted. Nobody is ever punished in present-day Egypt today. And friends, this goes in year after year and decade after decade, it is an ongoing thing. But the change has been that now the DNA and the marks of the Egyptian armed forces are all over these crimes that are being committed. They're all over these crimes that are being committed against the Coptic faithful in Egypt today. And the whole world knows what the truth is. The whole world knows what the truth is. The Secretary of the United Nations condemns it. The Pope Benedict XVI and other religious leaders condemn it. The leaders of Britain and France and Germany and Italy and Sweden and Spain and Portugal and Canada, countries in Africa, the latest being Nigeria, they're all coming together to attack what is going on in Egypt today. The whole world knows the truth. And while Egypt state television continues to spew out lies and misrepresentations, the whole world knows what the truth is. The truth is that the Copts are the indigenous people of Egypt. Their heritage goes back thousands of years. Their ancestors were the pharaohs. Your ancestors built the great pyramids of Egypt. And here it is in your own country, you are harassed and hounded and hunted like animals. That is what is happening in Egypt today. That is what is happening. So my friends, the spirit of the Coptic people in Egypt will not be broken. It won't be broken by the Salafists or by the jihadists or by the Islamists. It will not be broken by those who have the message in their heart of Osama bin Laden. The Coptic spirit in Egypt will never ever be broken. Never ever be broken. And we must continue to speak out. And we're going to demonstrate. And while the Egyptian government continues to act like the pariah government it is, then decent people around the world, they will continue to repudiate that pariah government as well. So we're going to keep demonstrating. All over the world. Said earlier, only a few days ago, we had a resolution from the Reverend Fred Nile condemning what was going on in the Parliament of New South Wales. And it was carried by all parties there. It was carried unanimously. It was carried unanimously. We're going to continue to speak out for the Coptic Christians of Egypt. And the whole world is united. The whole world is united in saying one thing: no more Coptic blood.
No more Coptic blood. No more Coptic blood. No more Coptic blood. No more Coptic blood. No more Coptic blood. No more Coptic blood. No more Coptic blood. No more Coptic blood. No more Coptic blood. No more Coptic blood. No more Coptic blood. No more Coptic blood. No more Coptic blood. No more Coptic blood. No more Coptic blood. No more Coptic blood. No more Coptic blood. No more Coptic blood.
Our next speaker is the Reverend, the Honourable Fred Nile, Member of the Legislative Council and National Leader of the Christian Democratic Party.